Sprint Week champion, 3 Belleville Midget National champion, 2-time Turkey Night Grand Prix champion.
Okay.
Listen to this.
Now, it just keeps going. He's a 2-time Indiana Midget Week champion, 2-time Harf Driver of the Year recipient, 3-time National Midget Driver of the Year, 2011 Freedom 100 pole sitter, then the Firestone Indy Lights. Okay. 1 career NASCAR Nationwide Series pole at Daytona in July of 08.
Daytona.
He had 1 career ARCA win at Gateway in 07, and he's the youngest USAC National Midget winner ever, Columbus Speedway in 2005.
So he's been, let me come back here, been racing since 1994. Okay, we're at 2016. That's 12 years.
No, it's 20.
20 years.
22 years. But okay, so he's 22 years he's been racing, and I mean, look at what he did. I mean, it's just, it didn't matter what he was in, where he was at. He was a guy that when you showed up, he's one of those guys in that elite group that you know you had to beat if you were going to do anything at all at that track.
Listen to this, too. This is Brian Clausen has been one of the most outstanding drivers to come through USAC in a short career, racking up 66 career USAC wins and several championships. Clausen has cemented, I mean, we've talked about this before, he cemented his place in USAC history in such a short
he did
time.
That even, just, I can't even find the words. He did that a while ago. I mean, it wasn't something that just happened. I mean, this kid has just been phenomenal in these open wheel cars. I mean, there's guys that are born to drive certain race cars, and this was Brian's niche.
Absolutely.
So in 2003, he was the youngest driver to win the open division of the Tulsa Shootout. Now we're talking about Tulsa with the micros, and he added, listen, to 6 main event wins in Kenyon midgets. Mel Kenyon, the great Mel Kenyon. If you've ever watched Thursday Night Thunder,
Night Thunder is awesome with indoor and everything else.
And you know the name Mel Kenyon. He won 6 main events in the Kenyon midgets to his 2nd consecutive national championship. He took a shot at sprint cars in the latter part of 2003 and proved to be a natural, qualifying for all 10 events he entered at Kokomo.
That's insane.
The kid is just absolutely phenomenal. And tonight we're going to remember him, keep his family in your thoughts and prayers. And it's just one of those things where you gotta look at your family. You gotta look at your family, whether it's your racing family or your family at home, and don't be afraid to say I love you. Don't be afraid to give somebody a hug, because it only takes a second.
And that's the thing too. Is it just, I mean, life is so short. It doesn't matter if you're in a race car, driving on the street, I mean, it doesn't. Listen to this, just this last year. We'll end with this, and I mean, again, keep our thoughts and prayers and stuff like that. Clausen again captured over 20 feature wins in just 2015, making it 4 years in a row with 20-plus wins. Clausen wins midget events in 2015, including the Ville Midget Nationals, Jason Leffler Memorial Race at Wayne County Speedway. Non-wing sprint car success continues as well, with Clausen wins Oval National at Paris Auto Speedway and Western World Championship at the USA Raceway. He's also recorded wins in a wing sprint car, both 410 and 360. 2015, the most memorable wing sprint car win came at Knoxville Nationals on Friday night during the Knoxville Nationals in 2015. Clausen competed in the Indy 500 for Jonathan, I believe that's Braids Racing. Just what I mean, come on.
So
kid is awesome.
Absolutely.
I mean, and you talk about an idol. There you go.
That definitely is something that a lot of young drivers look. I mean, not just young, all drivers look up to. I mean, just absolutely phenomenal. And we're going to bring up a couple more things here at the end of the show to talk about, kind of pick your brain on some things out there. So, you race fans listening, we want to hear from you tonight. It was kind of seemed like a long time since you were in the studio, Josh.
Right? Man, last week we found out some news, and
you want to break that again? I mean, I know a lot of people know, but some people don't. But Josh is going to be a daddy again.
No, I'm not. It's the milk.
Are.
It's the milk, man.
No, I don't think so.
No, she was poking around, and something happened.
Uh-oh. Wow.
You know, no, it was it was it was a good pleasure to hear. We were trying, definitely looking for a baby girl this time around, because that little boy we got. I don't know if you guys watch Facebook.
He's
but
a handful.
Holy
He's a character.
crap.
He is a character.
Okay, so we bought him a Power Wheel. Okay, I couldn't pass this thing up. It was awesome. It's got 2 speeds. They upgraded from the 12 volt to an 18 volt. So low's cool. You can kind of walk with him a little bit. I mean, you kind of got to trot a little bit, but that high speed, you got a full blown run. And
I've seen some other videos. I started laughing.
once he figured out where the gas pedal was and where high speed was, because it's on a lever next to him, and so I mean, I go to do it, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna shift too." You talk about, that's crap.
That's funny.
Oh my god, dude, it was nuts. So I told Trisha, I was like, "Yeah," I said, "Let's try high speed." She goes, "Oh, okay." That was the wrong idea, because he was down the road and I'm running. I was like, man, I'm lose some weight
if
now.
If you haven't seen those videos, go on Josh Warbus on Facebook and check him out, because I'll tell you what, watching that kid drive away and watching you run, I'll watch it just to watch you run. I love it.
Yeah.
But hey, before we really get into the show real deep, let's thank our sponsors, Northwest Trucking Academy.
They will actually have a commercial ready for next week. So will Crocker's Cars.
Yep, we're working on both of those guys, getting them the real deal here on the show as we continue to make improvements week in and week out. Another big improvement here, besides having Northwest Trucking Academy, I mean, seriously, guys, look them up on Facebook. You can Google them, Crocker's Cars. Great inventory. And Crocker's Cars, we're going to talk a lot about them on the show, because it is a big week at Willamette Speedway, and they are stepping up in a big way.
Big time.
We're going to talk about that.
Make sure you have your Sharpies or printable things or whatever, because
it's worth big time.
If you haven't seen what's on, you'll definitely need to take note, because you only have 3 days to do this.
Check it out. Yeah, that's true. Another big improvement here on Northwest Dirt News. We now have a dedicated phone line. That's going to improve the quality of the sound, make it easier for you guys to call in, get your pens and papers out, because we're going to give you that number right now. That number, the new number for the Crocker's call-in line, is 541-714-DIRT, which is 3478. 541-714-3478. That is the Crocker's Cars call-in line. That would be the official number that you will call in week in and week out.
That's it.
We have improved the sound on that. We've run numerous tests. It does sound a lot better. The quality of the show getting better week in and week out.
We do need an amplifier, I think, on one end. We're working with our engineer and stuff to make it sound 1,000 times better. But
it sounds 1,000 times better now.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So that is our phone number.
Again, that's 541-714-3478. Or dirt. That's right.
That's how we roll in Northwest.
That's how we do it.
That's it, man.
All right, let's talk Sunset Speedway, man. Let's give us the update, the scoop.
Let's see. So we went and we had this is our lineup. Okay, let's get into this a little bit. So we had IMCA Sport Mods that were there, 600 Restricted Open, Bridgeport Logistics Street Stocks, and of course we had a double header. Double points, double pay, modified. I want to talk about craziness, and I will leave that at that and leave it at the end, because holy crap. If you weren't there or didn't see it, we're in the process. The second video and we'll talk about who won that. The second video, as soon as I went to upload it, it was all choppy and everything, so I got to redo it, and it's okay, but it'll be up. It was crazy.
Now, before you start your segment, okay, I want to let you know, because you just said something. If you weren't there, okay, you missed a heck of a race.
You missed two.
Okay,
two.
I know.
One hell of a.
I know. Okay,
I don't want to say one, because that was.
Well, I meant
both of these are
night.
crazy.
I meant the night. Okay,
yeah.
So I wasn't there. Obviously, I'm in the Moxie Tower at Willamette Speedway announcing. I felt like I was there, because the updates coming into my phone through text message and Facebook updates, I had to turn my phone completely, like the notifications, I had to take it off vibe. I mean, it was just going nuts. I'm trying to announce, my phone's going crazy every 20 seconds. I'm getting updates on this. I'm getting updates on Campos and Kyle Yak and this and that. And I'm going, oh my gosh. I'm trying to figure out what's going on here with these sprint cars. And the phone's just, I'm just going nuts. I'm going, man.
I believe 90% of that was from me.
There was fans in the stands. There was people in the pit area. I'm just going, oh my gosh. I mean, it sounded like one heck of a night, and we'll talk about that here and during your segment. But
you talk, and we had a points deal, a points battle also, and okay, so let's start off with IMCA Sport Mods. I love this class, but we are having an issue with car count.
And we're going to with that particular class until we. I mean, it's going to take a time to grow that class. It's
Not
just what it is.
sure why Grove is stunning, because they're anywhere from 12 to 17 cars.
Well, and here's why I think you're seeing that. I think a lot of those cars with the Sport Mod division, you take a look around the state, where do most of them come from?
They're all from down there.
Cottage Grove and South. I mean, that's just what it is. Until we can get those guys to migrate up, get on that track there at the Bull Ring there at Sunset, and really have a feel for it and see what that racing's all about, I think then you'll start growing the count at that class or at that track.
And it's bad fast. I mean, when we have that car count and stuff, it's bad fast. I mean, it's great racing. Saturday night wasn't so much for some certain people.
Oh no, let's talk about it.
Qualifying, well, not qualifying, but going out there and practice and everything. John Henry, of course, was fastest. He's fast. It's a toss-up between him and Michael Melton. Now, Michael hasn't been in his car for a couple weeks because he's been on vacation. He had John Gamble drive it the previous week. I mean, hey, it is what it is. But yeah, Mike was not. I love your guy. That's awesome, Dakota. Thank you so much. We're reading some of our text messages.
Well, I got to give a shout out to Dakota Goddard. He just says, "Hey, I love your guys' show. Great work, Dakota. Thanks for listening."
Make sure you got that phone number down, and later on, after Sunset segment, if you got any questions, comments, whatever like that, we're going to go into a commercial after our segment.
Take a short break, and then we'll be back on the air. Yep.
And then you guys call in or whatever. But so, John Henry is fast. Okay, Michael Melton, Mike Graham. So, heat race number 1, Mike Graham, John Henry, Michael Melton. Well, this is how they finished.
Where was Pam?
I don't know. Pam was not there. I don't know if their car wasn't ready or whatever, but Mike brought the 18X out, the
Mike's
Leaf
fast?
Spring FR1.
Mike's fast?
Yeah, John, of course, and then Mike brought his car out. But the finishing order out of 8 laps.
This is the heat race.
This is heat race number 1. Mike Graham won it. John Henry second. Michael Melton third.
Okay.
The problem is, both the front two had 8 laps. Michael Melton only made 5. Why do you say only made 5?
Why did he only make 5?
Oh, well, because there is a post I posted on Facebook. Is that, well, I was actually, yeah, just wasn't there. He kind of got into a little bit of coming out of turn 2. Mike kind of drove up a little bit and probably just racing incident and stuff like that. Kind of pushed Michael back to third. Graham goes into second. John goes into 3 and 4, right on the apex, spins right in front of both of them. Neither one of them had nowhere to go. Mike hits into John. Michael then spins it sideways. Right rear collects the back of Mike Graham's car, rips the sail panel off, rips half the deck off, flattens the tire. Pretty much end of the night.
Big impact.
Axle tube, some bars. I mean, it's just
so there's some heavy damage.
It was some heavy damage.
That's unfortunate because Melton he's been a pretty good talent so far in that car this year.
He has. He's running second in points. He's not. He told me and stuff. He don't care about points. He just wants to go out and have fun. He did. I did talk to him a little bit earlier.
He's one of those racers I would believe when he said that.
Yeah, it was a concept to try to either figure out if he was going to stay in the sport mods or if he was going to go into the A mods for this year. He went ahead and bought that new car, stayed in the sport mods, and instead of going to the A mods, he wanted a little more seat time. He told me today, not so no more.
He's stepping up.
He is not he's not happy in the sport mods. He doesn't like his car being torn up. He doesn't, I mean, he's just, and that's understandable.
Well, and here's the thing: the sport mods and the game mods at Sunset, there's not going to be a whole bunch of difference.